Have you ever noticed how people start stepping toward you when you take a step back? It's almost like they can't help it. Today we're diving into why you become more attractive when you move away, and it's not just a coincidence. Based on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, there's power in distance. From appearing more powerful and mysterious to boosting your own confidence and inner peace, we'll uncover the 9 things that happen when you detach. Ready to master the art of attraction through self-control? Let's get into it. 1. The power of distance, how space creates desire. You've probably noticed it before, the mysterious allure of someone who doesn't seem to need you. It's that magnetic pull that comes from someone who isn't constantly available, who has their own thing going on, and whose life doesn't revolve around yours. There's an undeniable truth to this: distance creates attraction. But why? Let's break it down. When you create space, you signal independence. You're saying, I'm not relying on anyone else for my happiness or validation. This sends a powerful message to others, whether in relationships, friendships, or professional settings. Suddenly, you're no longer the person who is always within reach, always there, always saying yes. You become someone whose presence is earned, not expected. And that shift, it's magnetic. Here's where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency, not in a detached or cold way, but in a way that emphasized inner strength. They didn't believe you should rely on external circumstances or the opinions of others for your happiness. Instead, true contentment comes from within. This philosophy applies perfectly to the concept of distance. When you step back, both physically and emotionally, you take back control over your own sense of self-worth. It's easy to think that being constantly available, replying to every message within seconds, showing up to every social gathering, or always being there for someone will make you more likable or desirable. But in reality, it can have the opposite effect. People value what is scarce. If you're always around, your presence loses its value. By stepping away, you give others a chance to miss you and to recognize your value in their life. Distance amplifies desire. Think about the last time you felt deeply attracted to someone or something. Chances are that attraction wasn't built on familiarity. It wasn't the person you saw every single day, who was always there, answering every call or message immediately. It was likely someone who had their own life, their own pursuits. They weren't always available, and that made them intriguing. This principle is evident in all areas of life, not just relationships. Consider a business setting. The most successful people aren't constantly chasing deals, clients, or opportunities. They don't need to. They know their value, and by projecting that confidence, others come to them. It's the same dynamic. The more you distance yourself from needing something or someone, the more you naturally attract it. But there's an important balance here. Distance doesn't mean disappearing or becoming aloof. It's not about playing hard to get or manipulating others. The true distance is rooted in confidence. It's about understanding your own value, being comfortable with yourself, and not relying on external validation. When you do this, you naturally exude an energy that draws people in. This isn't a new concept. The idea of creating space to generate desire has been around for centuries. The ancient Stoics practiced this in their daily lives. They believed that by detaching themselves from the outcome, whether that outcome was a relationship, a business deal, or any external circumstance, they could find true peace. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you distance yourself from needing a specific reaction or outcome, you free yourself from dependency." This form of detachment doesn't mean indifference. It often leads to deeper, more meaningful connections because you're no longer trying to control or manipulate the situation. You're simply being, and that authenticity is irresistible. People can sense when someone is comfortable in their own skin, and it naturally draws them closer. So, how do you apply this in your own life? First, recognize that neediness repels. Whether it's in romantic relationships, friendships, or professional interactions, constantly seeking approval or validation pushes people away. The more you seek, the less you find. It's counterintuitive, but the more you can step back and let things unfold naturally, the more you'll attract what you want. Next, embrace solitude. Being comfortable with being alone is a powerful skill. It allows you to recharge, reflect, and come back to your relationships and interactions from a place of strength, not need. When you don't need constant interaction or validation, you become more centered, and people notice. Finally, be intentional with your presence. When you do show up, whether in person, over the phone, or online, make it count. Be fully engaged, be present, and be authentic. Then, step back again. This rhythm of engagement and distance creates a dynamic where others are drawn to you, not because you're always available, but because you're intentional with your presence. Remember, distance isn't about avoidance or manipulation. It's about cultivating a sense of independence, both for yourself and in the way others perceive you. It's about knowing your worth, being comfortable with space, and allowing attraction to grow naturally. In the end, the power of distance is about giving yourself and others the room to appreciate what you bring to the table. By stepping back, you allow others to step forward. You give them the chance to recognize your value, to miss your presence, and to desire your company. And when that happens, attraction isn't just a possibility, it's inevitable. 2. The strength of restraint. In a world where emotions often govern actions, the ability to maintain composure is a powerful asset. Picture a high-stakes negotiation or a heated argument. Emotions run high, voices escalate, and clarity blurs. Amidst this chaos, one person stands calm and collected, their demeanor unshakable. This is not just a tactic, it's a testament to true strength. When you can control your emotions, you wield an influence that transcends the moment. It's easy to react, to be swept away by the tide of feelings. But the true challenge and the hallmark of a Stoic warrior lies in restraint. It's the ability to withdraw, to take a step back, and assess the situation with clarity. This is not a sign of weakness, rather, it's an exhibition of profound strength. In the heat of the moment, when tempers flare and judgment falters, those who remain calm garner respect. Others perceive this composed demeanor as a fortress of strength, an unwavering commitment to rationality amidst emotional turmoil. This respect isn't merely given, it's earned through consistent practice of emotional control. Every time you choose to remain composed instead of reacting impulsively, you reinforce your reputation as someone who commands respect and admiration. Imagine navigating through the complexities of life, relationships, work, or personal challenges, armed with this Stoic approach. Each time you withdraw from emotional engagement, you not only protect your mental state but also project an aura of authority. People are drawn to those who exude calmness, gravitating towards individuals who appear in control. This magnetic quality becomes an essential tool in your interpersonal arsenal. In practice, this means taking a moment to breathe before responding. It's about pausing when anger rises or anxiety creeps in. In those fleeting moments, you hold the power to dictate your response, to choose the narrative. Instead of being reactive, you become proactive, shaping your destiny rather than letting it be shaped by external circumstances. This doesn't imply suppressing your feelings or denying your humanity. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are a part of life. What matters is how we manage them. It's about acknowledging your feelings without being defined by them. You can feel anger, fear, or sadness and still choose to respond with grace and composure. This is the essence of true emotional intelligence, a key component in fostering deeper connections and enhancing personal respect. As you cultivate this ability, you'll notice a shift not just in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself. With each encounter where you manage to control your emotions, you build a reservoir of confidence. You become less susceptible to the whims of external validation, grounded in the knowledge that your strength lies within. The Stoic principle of controlling one's emotions can be likened to a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Start small and practice this in everyday situations. It could be a frustrating interaction at work or a minor inconvenience during your day. Each instance is an opportunity to refine your emotional control, to withdraw, and choose how you respond rather than react. Over time, this practice transforms your interactions. Colleagues, friends, and family will come to recognize your unwavering presence. They will respect you not just for what you say, but for how you say it, grounded in clarity, free from the cloud of fleeting emotions. This newfound respect can elevate your relationships, forging deeper connections based on mutual admiration and understanding. Moreover, the act of withdrawing doesn't mean isolation. It means stepping back to gain perspective and allowing yourself the space to process your thoughts and feelings before engaging. This strategic withdrawal empowers you to return to conversations with renewed clarity and purpose. You become not just a participant, but a leader in discussions, steering conversations toward constructive outcomes rather than letting emotions dictate the flow. Ultimately, the strength of controlling your emotions and the wisdom of knowing when to withdraw will set you apart. It invites others to not only respect your authority, but also to seek your counsel. In a world full of chaos and noise, you become a beacon of clarity and calmness, guiding others through their turbulent waters. 3. The allure of mystery. Imagine walking into a room and all eyes are drawn to you. What's your secret? It's not just about the clothes you wear or the confidence in your stride, it's about the aura of mystery you exude. When you cultivate a mysterious demeanor, you ignite curiosity in others, compelling them to pay attention. Curiosity is a powerful tool. In a world saturated with information and personalities vying for attention, being enigmatic sets you apart. Think of the great thinkers and leaders throughout history: Socrates, Da Vinci, and even modern-day figures like Steve Jobs. They mastered the art of leaving questions unanswered, sparking intrigue that kept people engaged. It's not that they shared less, they simply chose their words wisely, allowing gaps that others yearn to fill with their imaginations. So how do you craft this magnetic presence? Start with awareness. Observe how you present yourself. Are you an open book, or do you leave room for interpretation? Mystery doesn't mean being deceitful, it's about being selective with what you reveal. This doesn't mean you should fabricate stories or hide your true self. Instead, think strategically about your narratives. Share insights, but hold back enough to encourage others to dig deeper. Next, consider the power of silence. In conversations, don't rush to fill every pause. Embrace the space where thoughts can breathe. When you allow silence to linger, it creates an opportunity for others to engage more thoughtfully. They're left wondering what you're thinking, what you know that they don't. This can lead to more meaningful interactions, drawing people closer as they seek to uncover the layers beneath your surface. Another effective strategy is to ask more questions than you answer. By flipping the focus back to others, you not only encourage them to share their thoughts, but also position yourself as a listener, an intriguing role that keeps them engaged. It's human nature to feel valued when we're heard. The more questions you ask, the more the other person will want to know about you in return, fueling that curiosity you're cultivating. Furthermore, be mindful of your body language. A confident stance, relaxed gestures, and steady eye contact contribute to the mysterious vibe. You don't have to broadcast everything you're feeling. Sometimes, a slight smile or a knowing glance can convey volumes without saying a word. People are naturally drawn to those who seem self-assured and composed, adding to the intrigue of who you are and what you know. In addition, consider the stories you tell. Every tale you share can become an opportunity to build your mystique. Choose narratives that highlight your experiences without laying bare every detail. Maybe you had an unusual journey to where you are today, filled with challenges and triumphs. Instead of recounting every moment, offer snippets that provoke interest. Leave listeners wanting to know what happened next, allowing them to fill in the blanks with their imaginations. Lastly, remember the power of authenticity. While it's essential to create an aura of mystery, you must remain genuine. The allure of mystery dissipates quickly if it feels forced or artificial. Stay true to yourself and let your unique qualities shine through. Authenticity draws people in, and when combined with an enigmatic presence, it becomes a potent blend that captivates. Creating mystery and curiosity is not just about how you present yourself, it's about fostering genuine connections with others. As you master this art, you'll find that people will not only pay attention to you, but will also gravitate toward your ideas and insights. They'll be eager to explore the depths of your thoughts, excited to join you on a journey of discovery that transcends the ordinary. In a world that often values transparency and openness, embracing mystery can be a refreshing counterpoint. It invites intrigue, conversation, and connection, elements essential for any relationship, personal or professional. The next time you enter a room, remember the power you hold. You can captivate an audience with your presence alone. Cultivate your mystery and watch as curiosity blossoms, drawing people into your orbit, eager to unravel the complexities that lie within. 4. The art of self-valorization. Imagine this: you're in a crowded room, the buzz of conversation swirling around you like a caffeinated whirlwind. You scan the faces, searching for familiarity, but something shifts within you. Instead of seeking validation, you focus inward. This is where the magic begins. When you redirect your attention from the noise outside to the richness within, something transformative happens. Your self-worth isn't dictated by the opinions of others, it flourishes in the fertile soil of self-awareness. In this state of heightened introspection, your confidence swells. You become aware of your strengths and unique qualities, and that awareness becomes your superpower. As you walk away from this experience, you're not just leaving the room, you're stepping into a new version of yourself. Your head held high, shoulders back, and a newfound light in your eyes. This shift does not go unnoticed. People can sense the change. Confidence is magnetic. It draws others in, capturing their attention and sparking intrigue. But let's unpack this further. What happens when you elevate your self-worth? First, you start to engage with the world differently. Instead of fearing judgment, you approach interactions with a sense of openness. You're no longer tethered to the need for approval. Instead, you're free to explore relationships, ideas, and opportunities without the crippling weight of self-doubt. This is where the Stoic principles shine. The Stoics teach us that our worth is inherent, not contingent on external factors. They emphasize the importance of focusing on how you can control your thoughts, actions, and responses while letting go of the rest. This is the crux of building self-worth, understanding that it's a personal journey, one that relies on internal metrics rather than external accolades. Consider the idea of self-reflection. Carve out time in your day to ask yourself, what do I value? What makes me unique? This isn't a shallow exercise, it's about digging deep. It's about recognizing the experiences that have shaped you, the lessons learned through hardship, and the triumphs that have bolstered your resilience. This introspection cultivates a profound understanding of yourself, laying the groundwork for robust self-worth. Another powerful practice is gratitude. Each day, acknowledge the qualities you admire within yourself. This could be your tenacity, creativity, kindness, or any number of traits that resonate with you. By actively recognizing these qualities, you reinforce your sense of value. Gratitude acts as a mirror, reflecting the strengths you possess and reminding you of your worth in an often chaotic world. Furthermore, engage with a community that supports this journey. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift and challenge you. Seek out conversations that stimulate your thinking and expand your horizons. The energy of a supportive network can enhance your sense of belonging and increase your confidence. It's a dynamic synergy. As you build your self-worth, you also contribute to the self-worth of those around you. As your self-confidence grows, so does your ability to navigate the world with intention. You begin to approach life's challenges not as threats but as opportunities for growth. When faced with adversity, you don't crumble, you stand tall, armed with the knowledge that your value is unwavering. This mindset is powerful. It allows you to embrace discomfort, take calculated risks, and pursue your passions with vigor. Remember, this journey is not linear. There will be days when self-doubt creeps in, whispering insidious thoughts that threaten your newfound confidence. It's crucial to recognize these moments not as failures but as part of the process. Lean into the teachings of the Stoics. Reflect on the impermanence of emotions and the importance of resilience. Reaffirm your commitment to self-worth and watch as you rise, time and again. The beauty of focusing on yourself is that it's liberating. You no longer need to chase the approval of others. Instead, you become the architect of your self-image, crafting it with intention and purpose. This autonomy empowers you to live authentically, aligning your actions with your values and aspirations. 5. The power of distance attracting through independence. Independence isn't just a state of mind, it's a magnetic force. Imagine walking into a room not seeking validation but radiating self-assuredness. When you create distance, not just physically but emotionally, you signal something profound to those around you. This distance acts as a beacon, illuminating your independence and confidence, traits that inherently draw people toward you. Think about the individuals in your life who command attention. They often don't chase after it. Instead, they cultivate a sense of self-sufficiency that makes them stand out. It's not about being aloof. Rather, it's about recognizing your worth and allowing that acknowledgement to shape how you interact with others. When you stand firm in your identity, you inherently attract those who appreciate that strength. People are often subconsciously drawn to those who exude confidence. This isn't a superficial attraction, but a deeper connection rooted in respect. The more you assert your independence, the less you rely on the opinions and approval of others. This shift not only boosts your self-esteem, but also enhances your social allure. In a world saturated with noise and constant connectivity, practicing independence becomes even more vital. By creating space, both in your thoughts and your interactions, you demonstrate an understanding that your value isn't contingent upon the presence or approval of others. This principle aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to focus on what we can control and to detach from external validation. Imagine the freedom that comes from such a mindset. You begin to engage with people not from a place of neediness, but from one of abundance. You're not scrambling for attention. Instead, you're open to meaningful connections that align with your values. The paradox is striking. When you stop pursuing others, they start pursuing you. Consider the power of your body language and the messages it conveys. Confident individuals naturally occupy space, maintaining an open posture that invites conversation. They don't fidget or hover. They stand grounded in their choices and beliefs. This nonverbal communication reinforces your independence and further attracts others to you. Yet, distance doesn't imply isolation. It's about finding the balance between closeness and space. Genuine connections can flourish in this dynamic. When you establish boundaries and communicate effectively, you invite others to engage with you on a deeper level. You cultivate relationships rooted in mutual respect rather than dependence. This distance also provides an opportunity for self-reflection. It allows you to assess your desires, ambitions, and values without the influence of external pressures. You learn to appreciate your own company, which enhances your self-awareness and emotional intelligence. In turn, this self-knowledge radiates outwards, making you even more appealing to others. Ultimately, the key to independence and confidence lies in the understanding that you are enough as you are. You possess intrinsic worth, and this realization empowers you to engage with others authentically. Your independence becomes a source of strength, attracting those who resonate with your essence. As you navigate life, remember that the distance you create is a powerful tool for connection. By asserting your independence and confidence, you cultivate a presence that naturally draws others in. Embrace this journey and watch as the world shifts to meet your newfound energy. In the end, it's not just about attracting others, it's about attracting the right ones. Cultivate a life steeped in independence, and let the universe align to bring you those who appreciate the true essence of who you are. 6. The magnetism of inner calm. In our fast-paced world, chaos is a constant companion, threatening to erode our inner peace. Yet amidst the clamor, there exists a profound truth rooted in Stoicism: the power of distance, both physical and emotional, to cultivate balance and calm. Imagine a world where your tranquility becomes magnetic, drawing others toward you like moths to a flame. This isn't just a fanciful idea, it's a practical approach to life that can transform your relationships and your mindset. When we talk about distancing, we're not advocating for isolation or disconnection. Instead, we're exploring the concept of creating space between you and the noise, the drama, the distractions of daily life. This isn't about shutting yourself off, it's about tuning into your own internal landscape. By taking a step back, you grant yourself the opportunity to reflect, to process, and to emerge with a clearer perspective. Picture yourself in a crowded room, the chatter of voices merging into a cacophony. Amidst the hustle, you choose to withdraw, even if just for a moment. You find a quiet corner, take a deep breath, and close your eyes. In this stillness, you reconnect with your thoughts, your emotions, and the essence of who you are. This small act of distancing allows you to recalibrate, to ground yourself, and to regain your center. As you cultivate this habit, something remarkable happens. You begin to embody a sense of calm that others notice. It's not about forcing yourself to be calm. It's about allowing that calmness to naturally radiate from within. People are drawn to those who exude tranquility, who seem unfazed by the chaos around them. Your ability to maintain balance, even in turbulent times, becomes a source of inspiration for others. Consider the ancient Stoics. They taught us that our perceptions shape our experiences. When we encounter challenges, it's easy to be swept away by emotional responses. Yet, by creating distance, both from our thoughts and from external circumstances, we can observe our reactions without judgment. This observation allows us to choose our responses consciously, rather than reactively. In doing so, we reclaim our power. Imagine navigating a difficult conversation. Instead of being swept up in emotions, you take a moment to breathe, to center yourself. You recognize the potential for conflict, but choose to respond with clarity and calm. This doesn't just transform the conversation, it sets the tone for the entire interaction. People notice this shift. They feel the difference in energy and gravitate toward your steadiness. But how do we incorporate this practice into our daily lives? The key lies in developing a routine that allows for regular moments of reflection. Start by designating time each day to engage in solitude, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly. These practices create a sanctuary where you can step away from the chaos, even if just for a brief period. As you establish this routine, you'll likely encounter resistance, both from within and from external forces. Society often glorifies busyness, equating it with productivity and success. However, true productivity is not measured by how much we do, but by how effectively we align our actions with our values. When you prioritize moments of distance and reflection, you align with a deeper purpose. As you cultivate this inner balance, be prepared to witness a ripple effect. Your calmness will influence those around you, creating a more harmonious environment. Friends, family, and colleagues will begin to seek your presence during turbulent times, drawn to the sanctuary you embody. You become a lighthouse in a storm, guiding others toward tranquility. Moreover, as your relationships deepen, you'll find that conversations shift. Instead of superficial exchanges, you'll engage in meaningful dialogues that challenge and inspire. People are naturally attracted to those who exude calm and confidence, creating an atmosphere where vulnerability and authenticity can flourish. 7. The power of distance, unlocking inner peace that draws others in. What if the secret to being more attractive isn't about what you do, but what you don't do? Think about it. We live in a world driven by hustle, constant engagement, and endless interactions. But sometimes, stepping back is the ultimate power move. It's the art of distancing, not out of avoidance or superiority, but as a way to tap into something deeper, your inner peace. When you create space, you shift the focus from the external chaos to the internal calm. This shift in focus is magnetic. You're no longer chasing after validation or approval. Instead, you're cultivating something within that others are inherently drawn to. That something is inner peace, and it works like a beacon in a storm. It's easy to confuse peace with passivity, but they're not the same. Inner peace is an active state, one that requires effort, discipline, and intention. By distancing yourself from the noise, you're not retreating from the world, you're creating the conditions to interact with it on your own terms. And ironically, when you do this, you become more compelling to those around you. So why is this so attractive to others? Let's break it down. We're wired to seek stability, to gravitate toward what feels steady and reliable. In a world full of people trying to prove themselves, someone who's centered stands out. They're not swayed by every little thing. They're not reacting to every situation. They're not in the game of constant competition, and that makes them irresistible. It's a paradox. The more you distance yourself from external validation, the more validation you receive. People respect the person who doesn't need to be the loudest in the room, the one who seems to operate from a place of calm, regardless of the chaos around them. This isn't just a philosophical concept, it's a real-world strategy. Take a moment to consider the people you admire most. Chances are, they're not the ones constantly seeking attention. They're the ones who project confidence without saying a word. They seem grounded, unfazed by the ups and downs of life. And that's what draws you in. The same principle applies when you distance yourself to find your own center. You become the calm in the storm, and people can't help but notice. But here's the thing, this isn't about manipulating people or playing some sort of psychological game. It's about prioritizing yourself and your well-being. When you focus on cultivating inner peace, you're doing it for you, not for anyone else. The fact that others find it attractive is a byproduct, not the goal. This is where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoics were masters of this art. They understood that the external world is full of distractions, temptations, and chaos. They didn't run from it, but they didn't let it control them either. Instead, they turned inward, focusing on what they could control, their thoughts, their emotions, their reactions, and by doing so, they found a sense of peace that made them unshakable. The lesson here is simple but profound. By distancing yourself from the external noise, you gain clarity, and clarity breeds confidence. When you're clear about who you are and what truly matters to you, you're not easily swayed by the opinions or actions of others. You become the master of your own world, and that's what people are drawn to. Think of it like this: most people are caught up in a whirlwind of activity, constantly reacting to everything happening around them. They're like ships tossed around in a storm, with no clear direction. But when you create space, when you step back and focus on your inner world, you become the lighthouse. You're the stable point of reference in a sea of chaos, and that's incredibly attractive. Distancing doesn't mean cutting people off or withdrawing completely. It's about creating a healthy buffer between you and the distractions of the world. It's about being deliberate with your energy and attention. It's choosing when to engage and when to step back, not because you're aloof, but because you value your peace more than the fleeting gratification of constant interaction. And the beauty of this approach? It's sustainable. It's not about putting on a show or maintaining a facade. Inner peace, once cultivated, becomes a natural part of who you are. It's not something you have to work at maintaining, it just is. And that's where the real magic happens. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is trying to outdo each other, whether it's through conversation, appearances, or actions. Now imagine yourself calm and centered, not needing to prove anything. People notice that. They can feel the difference. It's subtle, but it's powerful. This isn't about detachment in the sense of isolation. It's about emotional independence. When you no longer rely on external sources for your sense of peace or worth, you become free. Free from the constant need for approval. Free from the anxiety of what others think. Free to live life on your own terms. So how do you get there? It's not an overnight process. Like any worthwhile endeavor, cultivating inner peace takes time, practice, and patience. It starts with small steps, setting boundaries, taking time for reflection, and learning to be okay with solitude. The more you distance yourself from the external noise, the more attuned you become to your inner world. And the more attuned you are, the more peace you'll find. In a world that's constantly telling you to do more, be more, and engage more, the real power lies in doing less, being selective, and creating space. It's in this space that you find yourself, and in finding yourself, you become magnetic to others. Because true attraction doesn't come from what you do, it comes from who you are. And who you are becomes clear when you cultivate inner peace. Let the world chase the noise. You, on the other hand, can find power in the pause, the distance, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing yourself deeply. And that is irresistibly attractive. 8. The power of letting go. Why needing less gets you more. Picture this: you're in a room full of people, and everyone's vying for attention. Some are desperate to be seen, their energy like a flare in the night sky, screaming for acknowledgement. Others stand quietly, their calm presence drawing people toward them. Why? They don't need it. They've mastered an art few understand, appearing needless. The paradox of life, especially in human relationships, is this: the less you seem to need something, the more likely you are to get it. It's almost counterintuitive, right? But it works. Call it a law of human nature or a psychological quirk, but people are wired to chase what seems unattainable and to value what's not easy to secure. Think about it. When was the last time someone bombarded you with texts or calls, asking for your attention? You likely felt overwhelmed or even a bit turned off, right? Now, compare that to someone who, while being genuinely interested, keeps their distance, someone who doesn't chase or demand. They become far more intriguing. You start to wonder about them and think about them more often. Your interest in them grows, not because of what they say or do, but because of what they don't say or do. That's the essence of appearing needless. When you show up in life or in any relationship as someone who's not clawing for approval, admiration, or connection, something powerful happens. You create space for others to step in. You become an opportunity, not a burden. You shift the dynamic from chasing to attracting. And when you do that, people start to pay attention. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. This isn't about pretending to be uninterested or playing hard to get. That's surface-level thinking, and it rarely works in the long run. Instead, this is about cultivating a mindset that's rooted in genuine confidence and independence. It's about understanding that your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion of you, and that you don't need constant validation to feel secure. The more you internalize this, the less you'll need to prove yourself, and the more people will be drawn to you naturally. There's a subtle elegance in this approach. When you stop needing people to like you, they often start to. When you're no longer attached to the outcome often falls in your favor. It's as if the universe conspires to give you what you want the moment you stop needing it. This principle applies across the board: relationships, careers, and social circles. In the workplace, the employee who's constantly seeking validation or micromanaging their boss's opinion usually ends up sidelined. But the one who focuses on doing their job well, without obsessing over recognition, they're the ones who get noticed. They're the ones who rise. Similarly, in friendships or romantic relationships, being overly needy can suffocate the connection. But when you come from a place of wholeness, when you're not seeking someone to complete you, your presence becomes magnetic. You give others the space to engage with you on their terms, which paradoxically makes them want to engage even more. This approach is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the idea of self-sufficiency. The Stoics believe that true happiness and contentment come from within, not from external sources. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about this. He advised that we shouldn't pin our hopes and happiness on things outside our control, whether that's people, situations, or outcomes. When we do, we become slaves to those external forces. But when we detach from the need for external validation, we regain our power. The modern world, with its social media obsession and constant need for attention, makes this harder to achieve, but more necessary than ever. We're conditioned to think that likes, followers, and public approval equal success. Yet, the truth is that the more we chase those things, the more they elude us. On the other hand, when we operate from a place of inner security, we naturally attract the attention and success we once sought so desperately. Here's the kicker: this isn't about giving up on ambition or becoming passive. You can still have goals, pursue relationships, and still want to excel in your career. The key is to release the need for validation along the way. Instead of craving approval, focus on becoming so good that people can't ignore you. Instead of needing someone's affection, focus on cultivating a life that's fulfilling, with or without them. When you operate from a mindset of abundance, when you recognize that you already have everything you need within, you'll find that the world opens up to you in unexpected ways. Opportunities present themselves. People are drawn to you. And most importantly, you feel at peace, knowing that your happiness doesn't depend on someone else's attention or approval. So next time you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to prove your worth, pause. Ask yourself, do I really need this, or am I just chasing approval? Chances are, the less you chase, the more you'll attract. And that, my friend, is the beauty of appearing needless. It's not about disengagement. It's about mastering the art of engagement without attachment. It's about showing up fully but without the desperate need to be seen. 9. The power of detachment, unlocking mental toughness and attraction. There's something magnetic about someone who can detach. It's not apathy or indifference, but rather a quiet strength, an unshakable mental toughness. And when you develop this inner strength, people take notice. In a world where attention is currency, most people are constantly seeking approval. They chase validation like it's the last drop of water in a desert. But here's the secret: the more you chase, the further it runs away. People, by nature, are drawn to those who don't need them. It's a psychological quirk, but it works every time. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It's not about building walls or shutting people out. It's about protecting your peace and energy. When you detach, you are telling the world that your inner calm isn't for sale, and you are completely at peace with or without external approval. That level of confidence is rare, and people crave it. Mental toughness is not something you flaunt, it's something you embody. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is busy trying to impress each other. You, on the other hand, don't need to impress anyone. You don't need their approval. You're there because you choose to be, not because you need to fill some emotional gap. That quiet confidence, people can feel it, and they become intrigued. It's a paradox. The moment you stop needing something, it tends to show up. It's as if the universe rewards detachment with exactly what you were seeking in the first place. Think of it as reverse psychology at a cosmic level. The more mentally tough you become, the less you need from others. And the less you need from others, the more they want to be around you. It's not manipulation, it's a byproduct of strong personal boundaries and inner peace. You're no longer in the business of convincing others of your worth, because you've already convinced yourself. Building mental toughness doesn't happen overnight. It's like going to the gym. You don't lift weights once and suddenly become strong. You have to show up consistently and push through discomfort, and over time, you'll notice the change. Similarly, practicing detachment takes time. You'll slip up and fall back into old patterns of seeking approval. That's fine. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. One of the most liberating aspects of detachment is that it frees you from emotional turbulence. When you're mentally tough, external chaos doesn't shake your inner peace. You become the calm in the storm. People will wonder how you're able to stay composed when everything around you is falling apart. That's the essence of mental stamina. When you master detachment, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you don't just attract attention, you attract the right kind of attention. Thanks for watching. If you're ready to unlock a new level of attraction and self-mastery, remember, distance isn't about pushing people away. It's about cultivating independence, mental strength, and calm from within. When you step back, you not only create curiosity and respect, but also become a magnet for those around you. So practice these 9 steps, embrace your inner power, and let your actions speak louder than words. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, keep moving forward with purpose.